Risk Management Basics Part 2, Risk Multiples. Risk multiple is simply a way of saying what your stop loss is going to be in accordance to your TP. So the tighter the stop and the greater your TP, then there's a greater risk multiple. And ideally you want it over 2. So what do I mean? Now let's just draw something up. Okay, so let's say maybe this is gold, say. It's doing this. It's doing this. It's within like a range. And your stop loss is going to be here. Okay. So you enter here. So your stop loss, let's say $10. And so what you want to do, if you want a 2R, then it's simply the distance from your entry to stop times 2. So it would be something like this, where it's just simply the twice the, not quite twice, is it? There, almost twice. So that would be a 2R. So your entry would be here, your stop loss would be here, and your TP would be there. And so that would be 20. So that would be a 2R. So hopefully that's clear. Obviously, the greater the TP, then the higher R you'll have. Now, let's go do that. Or maybe change it to green. Now, if we were to do this, that would be a really, really nice trade. And that could be potentially 5R. Okay? So whenever you see something that says 1R, 2R, 3R, that's what that means. It's what you're prepared to risk to your reward. As long as you're projecting more reward to your risk, that's the key. But you never, ever, ever move your stop loss if you're using the risk multiple method. So when you do get stopped out, it's simply, that's what that is. That's what that's called. That means that you just got stopped out. Okay, 1R, and then hopefully this is clear. And so that's how that works. So that would be a really, really nice trade on gold, assuming that it did actually do this. And that's where the technical analysis and sentimental analysis comes into play. And so that's what that means. So that's what risk multiple is. The key is you don't move your stop. If you do get stopped out, it's simply minus 1R and you move on. You don't let it get to you. You don't get bugged by it, and you don't become frustrated or infuriated. It's just simply, a fact of life. You can't win every single trade, but as long as you're keeping that stop loss static, you do not move it, and you project your profit as greater than what you're prepared to risk. So a 1R would be there, which would be, it would be okay. It's not fantastic. That would be a 1R, for example. And hopefully that's clear. I'll give you a demonstration on TradingView now. So 2R, 3R, 4R. I was lucky enough on one trade, I think it might have been Kiwi CAD or something. I had a 10R trade. It was back in the day when we were doing gun trades on Twitter, and I'd let it go, I let it run, and it kept falling and falling, and never moved my stop, and it got to 10R. So what I was prepared to risk, I got 10 times the reward. It was a fantastic trade. So that's that. And I'll just give you an example what I mean by this on a real life example. And here's gold. So I'm still a bit of a TradingView noob, but this is what I mean. So what you're prepared to risk to your reward. And currently that would be a risk to reward ratio of 2.1. It's kind of annoying that it's done that. Okay, there you go. So if we bring it up, so there's your risk to your reward, and that's like a 10R trade. But of course, this would be, you need it like an entry. So we could probably have a stop there, R2. Very wide, don't forget. And this isn't trade recommendation or advice. It just goes to just to show you how to use the R multiple. And if you're having a wide stop like this with your stop at R2, technically could be a good idea. you'd want it to make sure that your reward was greater than what you're prepared to risk. So 2.93, so that's not bad. If you get it to 3R, that's pretty good. There you go. So if you want to triple your reward to your risk, then you'd be checked in down to 1724. Not saying that's going to get down there, but that would be a nice trade. And that's how you use the R multiple on TradingView. It's simply go on the left hand side and there's a thing called short position, long position, and that's what the R multiple is. And so hopefully that helps. And you never ever move your stop. If you do, then you break the R multiple method, and that would just be silly because then you're breaking the strategy. And it's a good strategy to have because it keeps you disciplined, and discipline is the key. And once you get stopped out, don't worry, because as long as you're obeying your risk management and you're not over leveraged, like I said in my last video, you're going to be in for the long term. And as long as you've got a sound strategy and you're using something that works, which we know the sentiment analysis does, if you combine it with technical and fundamentals, then that's even better. So we could say that had a lower high, for example, something like that. If you just use a bit of technical analysis in there, then you could be onto a winner there. But yeah, just remember to keep strict and your discipline, and never move your stop, and you'll be fine. If you move your stop, then you start getting slack, and if you get slack, then you encounter large losses. So keep your losses small and use small lot sizes, and you'll be fine. And hopefully that's a good video. And use the TradingView long short positions. These are really good, and hopefully that helps. So part 3, I think it will probably be on the Auto Chartist risk calculator, or I think of something else in the meantime. But I won't do any more videos today. I'll think of something today for tomorrow. And hope you have a good day, and I'll speak to you soon.